Meiji was the first emperor of the Empire of Japan. He led the Meiji Restoration, bringing Japan out of the isolated shogunate that had ruled since the 12th century and into the Industrial Age. Emperor Meiji was born under the name Mutsuhito on November 3, 1852. About a year after his birth, American Commodore Matthew Perry demanded Japan to open itself to international trade at threat of military invasion. In November of 1860, Mutsuhito was formally adopted as the crown prince. In 1866, Tokugawa Yoshinobu became the Shogun of Japan. Yoshinobu wanted to reform Japan into a Westernized state, thus paving the way for what was to be known as the Meiji Restoration, although he would provide some resistance. On February 3, 1867, with the death of his father, Mutsuhito became the new emperor. After political struggle and many rebellions, the Japanese shogunate was finally dissolved. The Boshin War, from 1868 to 1869, was the nail in the coffin of the shogun's rule over Japan. On January 4, 1868, the emperor read out a proclamation officially restoring power to the emperor. No formal government was established until April 7th with the Charter Oath. On September 19th, the emperor changed the name of the major city Edo to Tokyo. Tokyo would not become the capital for about 21 years in 1889. In the newly renamed city, the emperor boarded a Japanese naval ship for the first time, marking the point at which Japan became a naval superpower. In 1885, the Japanese government was further westernized with the establishment of a prime minister. During this time, it was unsure whether or not the emperor would remain in power. Luckily for him, he did. In 1871, the emperor abolished the Han system of domains in favor of prefectures. This shifted power away from the old feudal system into a more democratic system. Slowly, the emperor began to whittle down the samurai's power to a point where they were totally obsolete. The political reforms of the Meiji Restoration allowed for a rapid industrialization. Historians disagree on to what extent the emperor was involved in Japanese politics, with opinions of him ranging from him being a total dictator to a purely symbolic figurehead. The prevailing opinion seems to be that he was a very individual and strong figure in the government, and led progressive reforms, though never went truly liberal or democratic. In 1910, several anarchists got together to plot an assassination of the emperor. Known as the High Treason Incident, this plot failed, resulting in the execution of the leaders. The emperor's rule ended a few years later with his death. On July 30th, 1912, he died of uremia, amongst many other medical issues. After his death, the Japanese Diet honored him in his role in the Meiji Restoration with the creation of an iris garden at a Shinto shrine he and his wife often visited. The title of Emperor Meiji was posthumously granted to him. Meiji roughly translates along the lines of enlightened peace. Although much of his personal involvement remains a mystery to historians, it is hard to doubt his role in the westernization of Japan. Under his rule, Japan was able to become an industrial and military giant due to his reforms. Because of his contributions toward modernizing the Japanese Empire, Emperor Meiji is often revered as a national hero. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. I'm Matthew, and I hope I'll see you next time.
Goodbye, goodbye, where's the dear baby dear from your eye? Though it's hard to part, I know, I'll be sick of the death to go, don't cry, don't die. There's a silver lining in the sky. Bonsoir, old King, cheerio, chin chin, na boo